All right, wrong camera. There, I think. Hi there.
Hi. I spoke to Graham just a short while ago, so he should be joining us.
Is his internet up and running?
It was when we talked. We'll see.
Good.
Thanks for the Roku stick, Steve. I'll hook it up one of these days.
Yeah. Mine's up and running. I like it a lot. I was using an Amazon Fire before. This is better.
Yeah, I was using Amazon Fire on our 2 TVs, and I've been using a Roku on one, and this will let me put Roku on the other. I agree. I like the Roku interface better.
Yeah.
And actually, I already had a Roku stick, so I really didn't need.
Right. I was in the same boat. Exactly.
And I got an extra one. In addition to one for me, there's still one left over. So if we know of anybody that would be good for, let me know.
Don't know of anybody offhand, but
Yeah.
I really want to play with the Apple one, but I don't want to spend that kind of money right now. So
What do they go for?
in the mid hundreds, I think. 130 to 80. And it'll be better, but I don't think it'll be that much better. So
It'll be better and less expensive in a few years too. So
no, this is Apple. They'll make it better and it'll stay expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, you both. How are
Hey,
you
Graham.
Well, your internet looks stable.
all? Yeah.
What
yeah,
happened?
Gail, oh yeah, I guess I told you all, didn't I? But I talked to Gail. The Wi-Fi router, the U6, the Gigaspire, the carrier grade, had been for the last couple of weeks. Every now and again, it would bump out on the Wi-Fi. You know, you would notice it drop out, and it would only happen maybe once a day or every couple of days. But something was going on, and then today, I don't know whether the humidity going up or what. It started dropping out every 2 minutes and coming back on for 2 minutes and then going off. So I thought, okay, so maybe it's just the Wi-Fi, and so I ran a Cat6 cable down to the basement, and it was the whole internet going off, not just the thing. So I put in a call to Crocker to find out whether anyone else was having a problem like that. And sure enough, just me. So I had a spare U6 router, and I swapped it over, gritting my teeth, because I figured I was going to have to reconfigure the whole damn thing. But it automatically uploads its the whatever it is, remembers the configurations and just sucks it all back down from the home, so my SSIDs all the same, nothing's changed, passwords. So
Oh,
yeah, so that's a good thing. I don't know whether my printer still works. That's I will be fascinated to see. I assume the whole thing is going to fly. So there you go. A carrier grade router shouldn't go down. I did notice that when I got sent this thing free by, I think it was Steve Abraham of Calix, he found it in his basement. The box had been opened. I just wonder, it's 6 months since he sent it to me for free. I will demand my money back, of course. But yeah.
Double.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm hoping that he had it and he just didn't realize that he had it, because, yeah, who knows. But anyhow, tomorrow I will a low priority call to Sheld and ask them to look back at the history of what it was doing. I suspect that they will. I'll send that. I suspect that they might be able to tell me what it was doing, but maybe they can only do that if they set it to look at it, to set traps to look at it. But who knows? But anyhow, that was a wasted afternoon, but running around fun with that.
I never set up my new router.
Okay.
I got it right before I went on vacation. Thought, I'll deal with this later. And you come back from vacation and other stuff is piled up to do, and it's still there. So I've been thinking, well, someday I should try that.
Don't do that unless they give me a good reason for why the first one failed. Just kidding.
I'll hold off and wait for your report.
Must be an outlier, but
actually, you had trouble with it at the beginning, Graham.
Yeah, but that was a different the IP address thing. It was somehow or other it was jammed through, having to go. Sheld had to, yeah. So it was something between a handoff between Crocker and Sheld, but
that was, I think, another reason I held off. That, well, geez, Graham's having problems. I'm sure not going to.
I know, yeah. So but I think it was primarily stupidity on my part that I could have, worked that out quicker. But so there you go.
All right. Well, Jim is not coming because he's in the hospital and is having surgery tomorrow. So good thoughts for him.
wow.
Yeah. Intestinal blockage. So hopefully that will clear it up for him. And Graham, you said you do the minutes today?
Yes, because my computer is working.
Thank you. I'm ready to take over if it fails.
No, yeah, right. Yeah, if I disappear, then
Yep.
You'll know. Yeah. So yep.
All right, great. So first order of business is to approve the previous meeting minutes from July 20th as amended.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. All right, Graham, any things to report about the hut?
Went to the hut this month, and as for the summer routine, I've got both HVAC units running still, because it still might be hot some days. Absolutely no signs of mice. That's kind of
Good.
that's good, which is kind of what I expected. But yeah, so nothing else on the hut that to be said. And for the reports from the Crocker stuff, there were only 16 tickets, help tickets, this month or the last month, and 13 of them were administrative. So that only left 3 actual
Wow.
problems. Yeah. Now, maybe they've got, as I said, every now and again, some help tickets didn't seem to get, logged, but they're pretty good, I think. But yeah, 13 were administrative questions, stuff like that. There were 3 actual problems, and 2 of them might not have been real problems. One was a no internet. Sometimes so I looked to see whether they had to repair an internet, and you'd repair a drop, and I didn't see that. So it said it was solved. So whatever their no internet problem was, it came back somehow or other. The next one was one of those very iffy service problems of slow internet. Okay, define slow. It said that one was closed too. And then the third one, we'll call him Craig X, just to protect his identity on this open forum. He lives in Hidden Meadow. Craig, what happened with your outbound caller issue? Did Crocker handle it in some way that was competent, or?
Yeah, I thought I told you last time. So I called them and they said, "Oh, it looks like it's configured correctly." And then they said, "We'll get a technician on it." And I hung up, and immediately I got a call back from a different guy saying, "I fixed it," while you were talking to the other person.
Oh.
It was fast. I can't complain.
No, that was fast. Did he give you did he talk about configurations?
It was some configuration problem.
Yeah, okay, yeah. BS, so configuration BS. Yeah, okay. So, okay, well, yeah, good. So their only real problem, they fixed as quick as a flash. Okay, so
Yep.
That's not bad.
No, can't complain.
Yeah, well, you can, but
Great. All right. So I know we don't have a whole lot to report on the financial side because we're still waiting for the year wrap up for 22, unless you got something recently, Steve.
I'm working on it with Gail Weiss, and got a figure from her, and I've been working with my spreadsheets, and down to a $2.75 difference between her figure and mine. So I'm not going to work too much harder. So yeah, what she has is 100,955.18.
Not bad.
so sounds like there was interest somewhere or something. That
Yeah.
is the
We
discrepancy.
do earn interest on the account. She credits us interest. Our funds are just in the regular town checking account, but she keeps track of like an average monthly balance and finds out from the treasurer what interest rate the town is getting on the account, and she calculates that out, which impressed me because they could just say the interest all goes to the town, but they do apportion it out, so it's $100 and something. The interest rates are so low that
Right.
but so
So we're in the black. Is that the?
we are in the black, and so that basically $100,000 can be our emergency reserve fund for FY24.
Right. Once it gets approved by the
Approved in-
auditor.
in the fall.
Yeah.
And then next spring at annual town meeting, we'll be presenting the FY24 budget to start next July 1st. And so we can just ask to have that appropriated for the emergency reserve for FY24. So,
Great.
we're set for a couple of years now.
Yeah. So
Will there
yeah.
be some final closeout number that you get from the accountant or something that is?
Well, it's that's the figure she's given me.
Oh yeah. Right.
And I may take a little, I've been working on it and I got it so close that, I may look a little more to find that $2.75, but I say I'm not going to work too hard on that amount. It's most likely in the payroll account for your position, Gail, because you're paid on a biweekly basis, which doesn't exactly follow the fiscal year. If the final payday
Right.
June 30th, then everything would be smooth. So they encumber funds from one year and carry it over into the next to cover, the first paycheck you get in July is composed of funds from 2 different fiscal years. So, there's a little mushiness there. Plus, when we added the $3,000 to your stipend back in the winter, which our plan had been to have it in the budget, but a year ago, town meeting, it didn't get into the budget. So instead it came out of the reserve fund for FY22. So your payroll is coming out of 2 different accounts, some out of this one, some out of this one. So, a couple dollars can shift when you're doing something like that. So,
Well, the fact that you're less than $3 in difference is very impressive.
yeah.
For both of you.
Less than a coffee. What's Gail's number, or what number do you want me to write down as the closeout, the fiscal closeout number for the year? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the
Balance?
undesignated fund balance. Which will be it's retained earnings is the term.
Retained earnings. Okay, I like that term.
Yeah.
Earnings. Give me the read the number slowly so I can.
So it's 100,955.18.
100,000. $100,095?
No.
No.
100,955.18.
Okay. Okay. 0.18. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much. That'll. Yeah. Thank
So
you.
we're gonna use that. We're gonna use that as an emergency reserve for the next year.
Yeah.
Right. Jim brought up maybe wanting to explore paying off one of our bands early. I promised that I would bring it up during a meeting. Since he's not here, I'm going to kick it to our next meeting so that we can discuss that next time. So let's see. Next on the agenda is the manager report, but I'm actually going to do one thing before we get into that because it's going to get in the weeds a little bit, and that is other towns in Massachusetts are also, exploring municipal build outs, and Sean Fitzgerald at Sheld called me and asked if there is a way for us to keep parts of our contract private. Specifically the competitive advantage pricing parts. And I said, yes, but I want to put it to a board vote here. And the vote is to keep the pricing parts of our contract private. We still will comply with open meeting requests, or rather information requests. Anyone who asks, I will supply them with a copy of the contract. The pricing will be redacted in that. So this is allowed under chapter 164, section 47D. And I'll just read it. A municipal lighting plant created pursuant to the provisions of this chapter or any special law shall be exempt from the public record requirements of section 10 of chapter 66 and the open meeting requirements of sections 20 and 21 of chapter 30A in those instances when necessary for protecting trade secrets, confidential, competitively sensitive, or other proprietary information provided in the course of proceedings conducted pursuant to this chapter when such municipal lighting plant board determines that such disclosure will adversely affect its ability to conduct business in relation to other entities making, selling, or distributing electrical power and energy pursuant to this chapter and broadband. I added that last part because it's an addendum to 164. So
I move that we keep the information, the pricing information proprietary.
Oh,
under that.
I think we should discuss it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I can move it and you can discuss it. Oh.
thoughts?
So the wording sounded like we can invoke it if it affects our ability to provide service. We're really doing it to protect our suppliers. It's not obvious to me that we're allowed to do this. But the bigger question was, does this mean that our budget is then opaque to everyone?
No, because our budget does not include or does not parse out the fees that are going to our ISP and network operator.
It doesn't?
I don't believe so. Let me check on that. I think it just shows that like the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know that our budget shows that, but I mean, even this, maybe I'm not sure just what it is we're keeping private here.
The cost per customer, I reckon.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's just somebody calls up and says, how much is it for internet in Shutesbury?
Oh, no, sorry, the cost that they're charging.
Yeah,
us.
and it's so much. And then somebody can look at our budget and say, well, Shutesbury charges, a $50 a month MLP fee, or whatever the new figure is. And it's pretty simple math to figure out how much of the charge is going to Sheld.
Any one of us could work it out, but it does, it definitely makes it harder.
Or a competitor could figure this out who is familiar with the business.
Right.
They'd have to know all our customer, they'd have to know the quantity of customers and
no, because
charge per customer.
we know what the monthly charge is to a customer. That's public.
No.
And looking at our budget, you can see what we are, what we're collecting as our MLP fee portion of that.
Yeah.
So the difference is how much is going to Sheld. Is there anything else that they're trying to keep private, like maintenance fees or anything? Is that
that would be included as well in this. That would also be a redacted part of the contract. When it comes to doing things like our published budget that goes to town meeting and things, I don't think we can we can't redact anything on that. They're like you said, their fees aren't published on it. Anyone who's astute could figure it out, but we're not like distributing this. And also,
I got up at town meeting and said we're reducing our fee from $52 to $38.
Right.
That's in the minutes of town meeting.
Yep, it's all there. I'm looking at the budget and what was on the warrant article, and it's all published.
Yeah.
It's all published, but it makes it, it's a little harder to work it out and to be sure that they've worked it out. I mean, seriously, you kind of like, it takes a lot, you've got to count on your fingers.
Another thing, Gail, when you were just reading the text of the law, and you added internet, the word internet or broadband, did you say that you added that?
Yes, she did.
So if that's not in the law, it's a little
right. Well, it's not in this section of it, but broadband has been added as an addendum to chapter 164.
Yes, but we were told we couldn't use chapter 164 accounting by the DOR. I mean, that's a questionable.
Well, this doesn't have to do with accounting though. This has to do with how the laws and rules governing how an MLP is run. Nothing to do with the accounting.
Yeah, before we do this, I would suggest we talk to Donna. this is a legal issue.
Okay, here's my pitch for why it is. Craig pointed out, well, this is this an MLP call by Sheldon, not us, that is being implied. But it's in our interests, I would say, as an MLP, because if we're getting, I'm sure we're getting a good deal, and if we want that good deal to keep going in the potential extendable situation in 2 years' time or whatever it is, then it would be more possible to extend it if it's like discreetly not, I don't know, that's the interest that I can see.
I agree that we should try to help them as much as possible. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. There's the legal thing. I think it is worth getting our lawyer's advice, but there's also as somebody who trolls the next door trolls, I can just see somebody saying, well, the budget's redacted. I'll bet you Gail's making like 500,000 a year on this, right? And then we're gonna have to deal with that shit. So that's my only other concern is that if and when the trolls end up hitting us, they're gonna jump all over this.
They'll always be able to see Gail's income because that would never get redacted, right, Gail?
But maybe that other sum over there is an additional money that's going.
Yeah, somebody's slipping or
That's going to
something. under
Graham.
the
I know.
table.
I have evidence that it's going to Graham.
Yeah, my $20 an hour for this.
These are the next door trolls. They're
Yeah.
one step away from the Trumpers.
I can see Jim Hemingway has popped up here.
He is he's trying to join, it looks like.
He said he had 5 megabits per second
Yeah.
Well,
speed.
Should be good for voice.
Hello, Jim, if you can hear us.
Yeah, Jim, we can't see you or hear you, and you are muted. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So maybe he will.
Can
Oh,
you hear me now?
there you are.
yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Jim.
Oh, this is a very fragile connection, believe me,
Okay.
but I'll do my best. But the nurses here are trying to get an IV into me right now, so it's a little complex, the local situation. So I may not last too long. Let's put it that way.
It's all right. Just to take it easy. We're glad to have you here. Feel free to interject or just lay and listen.
Just make sure they're using a cat. Make sure they're using a Cat 7 IV.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want those lousy Cat 5 or 4 ones.
No,
Get the quality ones.
Cat 0, 7 megabits down and 1 megabit up. It's not.
Jim,
It's a little bit better than dial-up much.
Jim, I think you ought to get working on the hospital's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi there.
Well, I'm sure they've had some complaints.
You could turn them around, Jim.
Anyway,
Yeah. So so next steps. Shall I just consult with Donna about what she thinks?
Sure.
Okay, done.
And the question is, can you hide specific proprietary information? So, yeah, if you use the word proprietary, Donna might figure that that's totally within the purview.
Okay.
But it's specifically cost figures is what they're asking. to have
That's all it is. That's all it
private,
is.
so-
Only the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, rates. Yeah, rates per customer.
Okay. All right. In other news, no response or update about the ARPA request for people who have not yet gotten a connection. We have had 3 new installations this summer, 5 total for the year, and 2 more coming. So I love hearing this. More customers, more income. I expect we're gonna get up to like 95%. Just they're gonna keep coming.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's That's good. So next I want to talk about the transition. I emailed all of you, I don't know, it was on Friday, saying everything is on track, everything is good. Monday, it all fell apart.
Oh, no.
So before I go any further, I want to say we're okay. Everything's okay, but it has been a wild 3 days. So
This is good timing for you.
yeah, it's so it's a little bit stressful here.
Yeah.
So the circuits that we're getting from Crown Castle is delayed. Again, this was the original reason why it was delayed from July to August. It's been delayed again. The thing that all of us have learned, and I mean me and Holyoke Gas and Electric and Sheld, is that in these times, these big backhaul providers are simply unreliable. There's too many moving parts. There's too many supply chain issues. There's too many labor shortages, and they are just not meeting timelines at all. So we can't really even count on this further delay. One of the problems is, even if they're promising the cutover to happen next week, and so conceivably that could work, but then that doesn't leave enough time to port numbers. It doesn't leave enough time to do adequate testing. So, and are they even going to meet that? The guys at Sheld are not confident that that's even going to happen. And unless we make a contingency plan, the worst case scenario is the circuit isn't ready in time, it's not tested in time. Our whole town loses internet, gone, done. It all rests on the backhaul. So, the solution, we have 2 solutions, and I've already given the go-ahead for one of them. The worst case solution is to use our connection through Leverett and split their 10 gig in our hut. It's kludgy. It's gonna not give us any backup, and it requires the permission of Leverett basically to like beg, borrow, and steal 5 gig of their 10 gig connection and kind of share a switch in our hut. Nobody likes this solution. The other solution is to have Crocker continue doing what they've been doing. We are right under the wire for them to continue their contract with Crown Castle. So that is what I gave the green light for today, is just,
Yep.
they're just going to keep doing. Now,
Good.
we have another thing about what about everything else? I've already been trying to get Shell to take over the maintenance earlier than the switchover. Crocker has had further contract problems with Certex. I guess Certex just kind of like doesn't want to serve them anymore. So we are out a field technician group. So Sheld is going to take that over basically next week. So I think this is good. It's going to be kind of an earlier rollout of we're going to do this in pieces. So that's so we're going to call this piece 1. Sheld is going to take over all of the field visits,
Repairs, maintenance, and new installs.
new installs, all of it.
And so I'm gathering probably Crocker is probably good with this.
They don't care. It's a pass through.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pass through. They're not going to lose any money, and I think they're really happy to have somebody who is more available, right?
Yeah.
Shell is ready. They're poised to take over this.
Otherwise, Crocker's got to go and find somebody to do this. So
Crocker's customer service will take a call and hand it off to Shell, who'll then hand it off to.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Only for, well, here's step 2. So I am going to work towards having Sheld actually start doing customer intake too. We can do this by, again, we don't have time to port the number, but Crocker can just port our support number over to Sheld. So on the 30th, Sheld is going to just take over the customer calls. Between now and the 30th, it's going to be
30th of
August.
31st.
Yep. So between now and the 30th, Sheld is going to do, or rather Crocker's going to do the handoff. They're still going to take it customer calls and then hand off to Sheld when a field visit is needed. We only have maybe one of these a month, so this isn't a big deal. So the third part of this is that I'm also going to have Sheld take over the billing. And the first bill is going to go out as planned on September 1st to Shutesbury customers with a reduction in rates and everything. So what this
And will
gives us,
Sheld give money to Crocker then for?
correct.
Uh.
So what this gives us is good optics where the switch to customers has happened. It's done. Everything's working great. All right. We don't have to say, oh no, it's delayed yet another month, folks. It's 2019 all over again. And also, people are expecting this reduction in rates. I understand it's only $15, but I think it's important to just go ahead and do this. And again, Sheld is willing to, so we can move forward on this. By the end of the week, emails are going to start going out to people to say, hey, it's time to set up your billing for the switch that's happening on the 30th. So to the customers, this whole switch is happening. However, in the back end, the system is still going to be run by Crocker as our network operator.
That's what I'm thinking. It's now it's a division between ISP and NO.
Yep.
So the difference in the ISP fee, we're going to be reducing our rate to our customer, but still paying the full rate. So that's going to have to come from somewhere. I'm not worried about it.
Well, this just happened. This all just came together less than 5 hours ago.
Yeah.
So I haven't figured out the money part, but I'm going to have a conversation with Matt Crocker and the folks at Sheld, and we are going to figure out how to divide up the fee that they're collecting. I would like your permission to eat into our MLP fee if I need to make sure that both entities are able to, provide a service. It's only going to be for 1 or 2 months until we can do the full switch over. So it's not going to be like, tens of thousands of dollars.
But we've also got like $70,000 emergency reserve, so we can just take it from that. That's certainly, an unexpected emergency. So however you work it out is fine. But
Yep.
Okay,
It does.
thanks. Yeah,
If it's an emergency for sure.
yeah. I mean, we're not going to need to eat into any emergency reserves because we have plenty still in the MLP fees that we're collecting for the next 2 months that are all part of it that we can play with to pay both of these providers. So I don't think that's going to happen. It just means we're going to have a little bit less income for these 2 months until we do the full switch over.
And the budget that I created was for the reduced fee for 12 months. So we knew there was already a cushion in there because we knew all along July would be billed at the $52.
Right.
Right. And now August
So that's about
is
10. Yeah. And
August is too. So
as well. That was
yeah.
like, I think, $9,000 a month cushion, I figured. So we're fine.
we're fine. Yeah. We're fine. We're
Yeah.
fine financially.
Can
So
I-
yeah. So anyway, it's this is really the only way forward. I went through all of the different scenarios with Sheld and Holyoke Gas and Electric during a meeting today, and everyone agrees this is the best thing to do. It's still going to be pretty seamless for our customers. The one change is that changing over their voicemails and everything and passwords is going to be delayed. we can put a positive marketing spin on this and say, we're doing this in stages to make it easier for everyone. We're just doing internet right now, and we're going to delay this so that everyone kind of gets used to the new services and everything. And then we're going to do the, the phone switch later for more stability.
You,
So
you-
that's
you-
the
you missed
marketing
your
message.
career in marketing, Gail.
I learned from Masha. This is all Asha.
Whatever happens is perfect. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, everything's fine. Just yet another curveball in this. And I'm very grateful to all three of our entities now that we're working with, Holyoke Gas and Electric and Crocker and Shell, that everyone is willing to make this happen. So I'll there's a lot of details and kind of like who's doing what to work out. So
if I understand correctly, most of, say, the 15 calls this month would go still to Crocker Text to respond to. Is that, and in fact, almost no, they won't go to Crocker Text. They'll go to Shell.
no, after the 30th, when that is our like what we've been telling people is the switchover date. All tech support calls, emails, everything will go to Shelled.
Okay. But Crocker will still be paid for the month for those. Will Shell be doing that for free? And Crocker?
No, that's what we have to work out, is who's gonna do what and who's gonna get paid what.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you're right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. So if Shelled is taking over all the customer calls,
Yeah.
they're taking over all the billing, they're taking over all the dispatches and field visits. What's left is for Crocker to help solve some of the issues that Shelled might not have visibility into.
What
Although
sort of problems would that be? Can you think of?
there's the VoIP issues,
Okay.
because
because they'll still have all the
Crocker can't, like, they can't give Shelled access to everything and say,
Yeah,
like,
it'll
here,
still
you
be
can have
their
all
VoIP.
of our customers, not just Shutesbury's,
Okay,
like,
and here will be their angle is, and they could work it out, over the whole year. They could look at their calls. A little more than 2/3 of them are probably VoIP issues or questions.
yeah.
and
But
a
the
lot of them-
ISP portion of the customer bill, that can still go to Crocker. While Crocker is still acting as the ISP.
Good point. In fact, the bill calls out what that would be exactly.
No, the bill doesn't.
No.
No, the bill doesn't. But I mean, yeah.
But
the contract calls it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good starting point.
Yeah, we parse out that network operate, but it's unfortunately, though, that it's not really clean,
Hmm.
because the Shelled is still going to be doing some ISP tasks, like the billing, like the customer service.
Yeah.
So
And Shell will be collecting the money.
Shelled will collect the money and then portion it out and give some of it back to Crocker for what they do. But the customer face, pretty much from the 30th forward, is all Shelled. Okay.
But and Crocker will figure that they've sort of got us over a barrel, don't they? So they will probably want a comfortable amount of money for what they have to not do or do. That's
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
yeah.
We are over a barrel.
It's an emergency situation, as Steve said before.
Yeah.
It's
Gail, I'm a little puzzled about the customer billing schedule or calendar here,
Mhm.
because the last bill I paid was on August 1st for the month of August. But that bill Crocker sent out at the beginning of July, or early July, with a due date of August 1st. So normally by now, I would have received a bill for the September service.
Correct,
And-
and there's gonna be a long, not a unusually long delay because Sheld bills at the beginning of the month for the month of service. They do things a bit differently than Crocker.
Okay.
So instead of billing mid-month and the month ahead, our Sheld's first bill is gonna go out in September 1st. So people may
For-
be for the month of September.
For the month of September. Okay, well, if Sheld is okay with that, then fine. So, okay,
Yeah,
see how that goes.
Dale, hasn't that been the way it's always been? The bills that I get on the first of the month are for that month.
yes, but Crocker
Okay.
typically, like they usually
No.
land in people's mailboxes, like they land on like July 25th in your mailbox for
Oh, it's
the month
earlier
of
than that.
August or
No, it's earlier than that. They were
even earlier.
quite, back early in the month. I'm talking paper mailed bill
Oh, this is
for the
this is
following.
right directly to my credit card, so, but promptly every first of the month, I get a warning that I've paid my bill. And thank you.
Okay, yeah. That for auto pay, that would be the way it would be.
Same for me. I get warned 3 weeks earlier and right on the beginning of the month. I think I'm paying for the month ahead. So
Yep. So
okay, good luck untangling it all, Gail. It's gonna.
Yes,
you'll-
Gail, thank you so much for handling this. How have you been sleeping the last few nights?
not great. Not great. Like with 15 days to the cutover date coming and no backhaul in sight, it made me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
Well,
it's a huge relief to know that we have a path forward, and now it's a matter of executing and figuring out all the pieces and like I said, who's doing what and who's paying for what and the flow of the money. But it's a much better project than sitting and worrying if we're going to be able to do this at all.
I'm certainly fine granting you authority to negotiate this as best it can be done. And
Thank you. I'll do it. And my goal is going to be that it's going to all like it is going to be as if we were just paying one entity. I want to try to divide it up so that each portion, each of the vendors takes what one of them would have, but they're each taking a part of that. So that's what I'm going for.
And I'm going to write this as the tentative plan. If you become, or if you realize that it's not going to be easy for you to work that split out, then the fallback will surely be just let Crocker go another month. As unattractive as that. I mean, it's not worth kind of like having to twist oneself into a pretzel to work out. And also the other issue and the concern would be, as an operations person, changing something where there's too many diffusion of responsibility, issues like that, where it's a risky thing in itself. So it's like having two people with, no, I won't give a medical analogy, Jim. Two people with a scalpel at the table, So anyhow, be willing to let it go if you realize that this is not that this is just too much of a juggle.
Thank you. I think most of the a big portion of the juggling at this point is the customer management part. And I think it is worthwhile just to go forward with it. We were planning to do it anyway. It saves face, and gives people the discount they were expecting. And yeah, and it's, and if anything happens in like the billing or the money part, the network doesn't go down, right? It's like, yeah, you can work that out a month or two later. No big
Yeah.
deal.
You know, just to, we could give that discount using our buffer money as well. When you
Yeah.
think about it, that actually would
I see,
not
yeah.
be- Crocker could keep going, and we could change the pricing by our own unilateral thing, and that might be a very simple thing to do when you think about it, as opposed to getting all these people agreeing on what they're going to do and how much they're going to charge. And Crocker not taking, you know, just out of interest, Crocker, because I talked to a service tech today, I kind of said, so, you know, are you totally busy with, was it Block Island or whatever? And he said, that's kind of, you know, it's delayed for whatever reason, something.
Mm.
I'll tell you why it's delayed.
Yeah,
I can tell you.
I can imagine. Well, yeah, right. Yeah. So anyhow, so they're not as busy as they were expecting to be right now. So
No, I mean, just like our rollout, it did not happen. It's not happening on schedule as far as I know from my conversations with Tim Otto.
Yeah.
And I expect it's even worse, because I'll bet you anything they're running into these same problems, right? They can't get supplies, they can't get the labor, and they're working with the logistical challenge of being on an island of, you know, and then who knows what their backhaul situation is. So
well, my son tried to
Yeah.
get a repair for his truck, and they said 3 months out, you know, 2.5 months, and it's an insurance claim, you know, and they just they can't get parts, they can't get this, they can't get everything. So there's a lot of supply chain issues out there, as well as labor shortages. So
yeah, and it extends even deeper than that.
Yeah.
Bobby Liswell was telling me today that he doesn't, like, all the guys that he trained with all took early retirement packages. And so there's this huge knowledge base that's just gone
yeah.
in the telecom space.
Wow.
Just at the time when all these municipalities are trying to come online and need it.
Yep.
So it's yeah, it's a bit rough out there.
Yep. So
All right. The other thing I'm working on is the outage notification protocol. But in the light of all this, I'm just putting this on hold because it's going to be in Crocker's hands for the time being. So no, you know, there's nothing I can do with it. I have been in touch with the police and fire to get kind of like a better process for that. One of the things that we can do now with the new Shell system is also be notified in the case of ONT power losses, which I think would be super helpful for emergency services. They would know immediately when a street loses power.
yep.
Because we could see a string of ONTs go offline. Yeah, they might kick back off online with backups or generators, but there's going to be a blip there, and we'll be
Having
able
a
to see
simple dashboard is such
Mhm.
a profoundly easy thing to do.
it. Yeah.
And yeah, and we could give password access to anyone in town who had reason to read only access,
Yep.
which would be all of us as well.
I saw the police chief's email yesterday or whenever it was the other day about the Verizon work being done on Pratt Corner Road. I was curious if that was the fiber cable up to the cell tower.
Oh.
I wondered that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and also there was a phone outage.
Yeah.
I see phone outage. Whose phone system is out here? I didn't hear that we had any problems, so I assume it's the, shall we say, legacy Verizon phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was what I thought too. Yeah.
Yeah, Becky actually called me on Thursday and said that we were having a major outage. And I said, no, we're not. No, we're not. And yeah, that it was a Verizon issue.
well, Verizon is tying their fiber to the phone, to the own trunk lines, that's as opposed to hanging them separately. And so they probably screwed up somewhere and butchered the the old copper that's still hanging from pole to pole.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's pretty fragile, the old copper, I think, in spots. Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Okay. For the next 2 weeks, I'll continue to just kind of send up periodic updates about how things are going. We kind of have to throw out the project plan of those, the spreadsheets I've been keeping and start over. So some of it might be a little bit fly by night going forward, but I will at least keep you updated over email about, everything's moving forward, and if we run into any showstoppers, but I think we have a good move forward plan.
Yeah.
Only one thing I would add, and I meant to say it last month, I noticed on the inventory of materials, the ATA, the telephone adapters, people who want 2 phones, that the inventory for them is 0. I assume or hope that might be by design, because ATAs, you might know, they're a kludgy thing they add on.
Mhm.
And Calix has ONTs that have 2 telephone ports as an alternative ONT. The wonderful benefit of that is that you don't have this kludgy thing hanging off that also needs its own power supply. So I would say let's not get any more ATAs for multiple phones, and just get a couple of ONTs, which I'm sure Sheld has. Well, I know Sheld has ONTs that have multiple VoIP ports. So
Yes, since they're taking over all the installations, that will happen going forward.
Yeah, hopefully that's true. But anyhow, don't worry when you see ATA 0. Don't think, oh, good heavens, what do we do?
Graham, can I just confirm that's for a second POTS line?
Yes, a second POTS line. A
It's
second
nothing to
VoIP.
do with cell or for
No.
Wi-Fi
It's-
calling or anything?
No, it's not Wi-Fi calling. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
second voice over IP.
Okay.
The Calix has an ONT that has 2 voice over IP ports. We only
Okay.
the standard one we have is 1.
Yeah.
Graham,
Okay.
Graham, are you sure we can use both of those ports?
Yes, yeah, that's what I was told by Calix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but someone has to assign a number to it. I mean, it has to be, you have to get a real phone number for a voice over IP phone. So if that's what you mean, yeah, it won't be just an extension of your first number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the weeds.
Okay, anything else?
Well, wish me luck, all of you.
Good luck,
Yeah.
Jim.
Good luck,
Jim will be
Jim.
thinking of you tomorrow.
Yes, I get operated on at noon tomorrow, so hopefully that will be 60% of the time it's routine, and the other 40% there can be problems that means that you have to get ripped apart more than you would like. So I'm a little anxious, but I've got to get through this because I just felt miserable up until this time. So I don't recommend this for anyone.
Duly noted.
This is the worst thing to go through, but I'll survive. And it's such a joy listening to all of you. I can't tell you how much it's cheered me up, and I really deeply appreciate it.
That's because you're in hospital.
I know.
We sound good to when we sound good to you. That
you know you're
always
sick
sound
when
good to me.
when a town meeting sounds good.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Soap operas next. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jim, we will be thinking of you tomorrow at noon, and hope to see you back and healthy during our next meeting in September. And yeah, hope the stay in the hospital is really short.
Well, I hope
Agreed.
Hope so too. Thank you very much for your good wishes.
And Jim, I'll water your plants again tomorrow.
Ah, yes, we had rain today, did we not?
We did about 1/4 of an inch here. So,
Oh, well, that's pretty good. I saw it on the radar and Elliot Sherman told me that it
Yeah.
rained heavily in Leverett. So, so a miracle has happened. It hasn't rained a drop here in Northampton though, I can, so it's very selective.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone again. I deeply appreciate seeing you all and working with you once again.
Yeah, sure thing, Jim. You take
All
care.
right. We will see you next month.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
all right. Motion to adjourn, all passed. Good.
Bye.